everyone, Carol wants to share what I have picked up from lesson 26, which is doing health analysis. The outcome is not for us to become the doctor, but it is actually for us to tell the other party some of the key references that we have actually surfaced, especially when we highlight certain potential health issues for them to follow up with the professional doctors. So when we do health analysis, a few key things that we look out for: potential death, potential injuries, potential major illness, and also mental illness. So usually when we do the health analysis, we look out for the relationship between the problem stars with the death stars, because if there are clashes between these two, then it tells us that there is actually a potential major illness for the person. If we see problem star clashes with the injury door, then it tells us that that person actually would be facing certain form of injuries. Then if we see problem star actually clashes with the view door, it tells us that that person could be having a stroke or having some kind of blood related issue. And if we were to see problem star clashes with the dispute door, then there could actually be signs of that person having mental issues. So if we also see problem star within the same box there is actually the 9 earth, it tells us that there is potential depression issues with the person. Or if we see problem stars having serpent, right, together within the same box itself, it tells us that that person could be facing certain mental issues, right? So because serpent actually represents that person's character being able to overthink or worry too much, right? So it's a bit overlapping here when we talk about having depression or mental issues when we see this happening, because it can be either a mental issues, it can also be a health issues, right? So when we actually do health analysis, do look out for the clashes between the doors and the problem stars, and always check. All right, always do remember to check that whether if problem stars actually clashes with the day stamp, because that is the first level of confirmation that we want to know that person don't have any major issues in his or her health. And we go down to look at what kind. Okay, that will be the level 2 of details that we are checking out. So in any situation, if we see the problem star clashes with the day stamp, it tells us that that person cannot be cured. Okay, however, if we look at day stamp being able to produce the problem star, okay, it is where the health issue is a human created issue, which means that the person itself actually create the health issues themselves. Okay, right, so after you have done this first level of check, the other 2 sets of symbols that you want to look out for when you do health analysis is actually to look out for the doctor star, because that represents Western doctor, and also look out for the symbol E, okay, that represent TCM. If both clash with the problem stars, then the illness can be cured. All right. One key things to note: if we see problem stars having an emptiness in the same box or having live door, then it is good news for everybody, because it tells us that the illness is not serious and the person can recover. Okay, so if we were to see something like the black tortoise, okay, being in the same palace with the problem star, well, that is actually an alert symbol that it could be the illness could be fake front, and we need to really spend a bit more time to delve into the details. However, if we were to see partner having being in the same box with problem stars itself, then it tells us that, well, then there may be certain multiple issues that this person is facing. And one thing that is not so good to look out for is the white tiger. Okay, so if you were to find the white tiger appearing together with the injury door, it means accident. If you see white tiger together with the death door, then it actually signifies death, because the appearance of a white tiger within the box, it tells us that the health is no good, because white tiger actually can be pretty aggressive. Yeah, so these are some of the first level analysis when we do health reading. So in the year of the Tai Sui itself, energy actually went up for the problem star, and you will see that the energy goes up, the health issues appear will actually be even more stronger in terms of their energy. Okay, so in a very unique situation, if we were to see the problem stars and the door stars are actually in harmony, then we will see that actually in such a situation, the Western doctor cannot help to cure the person. So after you have actually do the first level of analysis to know whether if there is any potential issues, potential death, or potential injuries for the person, in particular when we look at if there is any illnesses for the person, the second level that we need to know whether what is the specifics of the illness that we are actually looking out for. So you can actually cross-reference to the different symbols, such as the 一丙丁戊己庚辛壬癸, because all these symbols individually they represent different organ parts, and we need to locate them in terms of the palace together with the problem star, because that will tell us whether what are the potential organs or the parts of the body that this person has issue with. And the more we see overlappings of the same organs, then there is a high potential to tell us that that could be the health problem that is surfacing. Okay, so some of the key things when I do health analysis is actually to really be a little bit more specific, to look at whether there is illness, what is it about, whether it can be cured. And also don't forget to check the Tai Sui when we are actually doing this, because it will help us to determine the level of energy. If there is a high level of energy within the box with the Tai Sui, then we have to place specific note of that, because that will actually either alleviate or aggravate the health issue that is presenting. That's all for lesson 26. We'll look out for lesson 27 where we have something different coming up. See you then.